Greetings, fellow Shek. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Kenshi Shek's Conquest, episode 25, Southward Bound. I've been busy this morning trying to engineer a solution for our soundtrack problem. So before I start, let me explain that. Essentially, the Don't Burst My Eardrums mod doesn't work, and the solution I've come up with is a rather complex one. So I have ripped the entire game's soundtrack, all like 220 sound files, which aren't really songs, they're just sort of interstitial music things, and created Spotify playlists, which I can control via my Stream Deck, which is going to be rather complicated. And yeah, that's what I was doing this morning. So, sorry for the late start. And then yeah, so the way it works is there's 4 different types of music in Kenshi. There's dunes, savanna, swamp, and tar sands. And I'll be sort of having to play DJ myself, which is rather complicated, but that's just how it's gonna be, I guess, in order to try to normalize. Yeah, it is Wise Audio Components. It's somewhat random. It's not possible to delete that single track, no, as far as I could tell. I've been in discussion with the mod maker of Don't Burst My Eardrums, and no, we can't just delete. And it's also not one audio track anyway. It's like 10 of them. 10 of 230 or something like that. So, to recap last stream, we went on a little bit of a shopping spree buying blueprints for arms and armor. And that is where we're picking up. So we have Chemo and Tora hammering the plates away for armor plating. And then Chemo here making the leather. And they're going to continue that. What I'm hoping to do rather early on in this stream is to start rolling out proper arms and armor for everybody, and using the proceeds from selling the weapons we don't need, I'm hoping to actually buy some backpacks. Strangely enough, actually, I'm hoping to buy wooden trader backpacks, these crummy ones that sort of hurt combat. Because the purpose of this is it will help us to level up more. You can read up on the wiki about trying to level up combat stats, but the TLDR is essentially the more your equipment hurts your stats, the easier it is to level up. Why don't I make the samurai cloth pants on the clothing bench instead of the leather crafter? Because I don't have any good armor crafters, period. The problem is I'm waiting until we have people that are capable of crafting in order to start crafting. We aren't there yet. So in terms of technology, we do have turret training left to level up. Right now I have Rockvin running around just patching everyone up because we've been getting attacked rather regularly by the hungry bandits. Yoda looks lonely. Buddy, are you lonely? I don't think he's lonely. Oh, speaking of hungry bandits, seems like one of them got back up. And down again. Delicious. So we have a rather fruitful amount of iron plates that we're turning into katanas. And then we are also mining up some raw iron to turn that into armor plating. I'm not planning on expanding my sort of industry any further until we have a base of our own. I won't be buying additional buildings. I probably won't even be really utilizing the second floor here. The reason not to utilize the second floor is largely because of keeping things simple. Only dealing with one floor makes it a lot more simple, so I'm not going to be scaling up at all for roleplay reasons. The end. But what I do want to do on this second floor is a skeleton repair bed. This will allow Rockvin to fully repair his arm that has been damaged for the last, like, 20 hours or so. So I'm going to get Rockvin to, instead of research, start to do the building of that. So that's 5 electrical components, iron plates, and copper, which we have plenty of. 5 electrical components. And get that delivered. Alright. 2 copper and 4 iron plates. And then we'll be all set. So we'll see how my alternative to the sort of music is. As you can see here, the music is being piped in through the alternative methods. If you find it too loud, just let me know. And as far as what we're doing today, it's going to be left up to poll. So instead of highlighting your requests or suggestions, I'll be polling for it after we sort of get what we have queued up done to be done. So there's no need to make suggestions. This is not my first rodeo. I've played hundreds and hundreds of hours of Kenshi. I know what there is to do, and we'll get started here shortly on the sort of projects that we have planned. So we did start a wheat farm. We have this full wheat farm, 2 hemp farms, and then Rain is currently managing the cactus farm. I might need to set up another farmer. The farming skill here, and Shek, of course, are terrible farmers, but the farming skill here dictates what % we fail at doing it. So I think I'm going to have Headshot manage the farming as well. So what I'm going to do is set it up sort of mimicking Rain's hull to cactus, cactus farm, hull to wheat, wheat farm, hull to hemp, hemp farms. And then I will have Headshot help Rain in managing that farm. Looks to me like some hungry bandits are messing with Tora. Here, I'm going to have just manually move Tora around. I think what the problem is Tora is trying to move the metal ores manually. Oh no, I'm actually not really sure what Tora's doing. We have plenty of raw ore up here, so I can't really answer that. Tora is just lost. I don't know. Hull to plate storage and plate beating station, and doesn't seem to be doing that really at all. Cool. Alright. Tora, I have no idea what you're doing. Are you medicing? I'm going to remove medic from a priority here so that Tora isn't running all the way down here. Let's see. You are running to get food. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Just, oh yeah, because this food barrel is empty, so I guess that does sort of make sense. So another thing what I want to do is to float our economy a little bit, and by that I mean to make sure that we are sort of solvent on cats, which is tricky to do. And then as soon as the skeleton repair bed is fully built, we're going to make some brief forays to neighboring way stations to see if there's any additional blueprints that we can buy, given cost. Tora, where'd you go? You're really a very disagreeable... Oh, stop grabbing ore. Trust me, you don't need it. There's 100 ore stacked up top. So the hope is to get everyone in reasonable armor. Maybe not immediately getting everybody, but trying to get our combat skills up enough that we can start fighting interesting enemies. And by interesting enemies, what I mean is ones that are bossing us around. For instance, the Black Dragon Genin or the Dust Boss. The sort of enemies that are around that would make sense for us to clear out because they've caused us trouble and they're harassing us. And clearing them out would benefit us as a group. I'm not going to be boss hunting for the sake of boss hunting. And the reason for that is we are role-playing. I'm not going to be clearing out bounties just to clear out bounties, but the ones that do attack us, you know, obviously we're going to make a point to hunt them as a bit of a priority. Alright, Mr. King. Let's see. I'm just going to drop the... I'll sell the ore, in fact. Looks to me like I have a ton of cactuses. And we just are falling behind on bread. So I could also try to supplement wheat straw or bread, buying it directly instead. But right now, I am just going to try to make a few cats here and there. And yes, we are trying, for roleplay reasons, to have self-made armor. I know that you can buy it, but I'm far more interested in crafting it myself. So instead of running around purchasing armor, we're going to try to craft it as a point of pride, bringing back Kenshi Craftsman as a way and means to you know, sort of armor up our small colony of warriors. All right, does look like Cowley is starting to grind up the wheat straw into straw flour, and then currently we don't have any hemp, but Kane can help out to water stuff, and then once we start getting hemp, I'll turn that into fabrics as well. Zandire, thanks for the resub. And everybody that resubbed before I formally started. No Sen and Zardis and Iguvin, thank you to you guys as well. Yeah, happy conquering. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do. I cannot wait until we have a proper base where people aren't constantly stopping their work priorities to clear out bandits. Oh, so here's a situation where Chemo has filled the leather storage entirely. I think what I'm going to do is just make yet another leather storage. Plop it there, and King can go run the building materials for that. Easy peasy. Vasily, thanks for the resub as well. Alright, so Rockvin, if you're down here, it means that I think you've... Oh, no, you have not finished the bed. Come now, come now. Finish that bed, get the arm repaired. It's better than renting a bed for mass amounts of money. It was like 800 cats a day. What is the timeline to get a proper base up? Like I've said probably 1,000 times, no offense to you, when we can defend it. And no sooner. So it really depends on our progress in combat training, because if you can't defend a base, you can't have a base. According to Shek lore, according to me. So I don't have a proper timeline. It could be towards the end of the stream. It could be next stream or the stream thereafter. Of course, this all depends on where you plan on settling. There are some areas on the Kenshi map where you don't suffer attacks quite like you would in some more dangerous areas. So, for instance, if we decided to settle in Okrant's Pride, it would be a lot longer, because Okrant's Pride is dangerous, full of Okranites that are going to try to kill us, and you need to be able to defend against that, or you become victim to their attacks. Versus, of course, picking somewhere a lot safer, like here in the hub, around the hub, You might get bothered a little bit by the Aqua Knights, some Paladin raids here and there, or Black Dragons, but obviously it would be a lot easier. So that, of course, truly and fully depends on where I've chosen. And I've already chosen a place to settle, and I'm going to settle there once I feel that we're ready to do so. So, is a question that I'm not going to purposely be evasive, but I can't give you an answer because it really depends on the progress of training. Alright, so Kang's got that built. Turret Training 2 is now done. Looks like we're almost done harvesting all the wheat straw, which means they'll change over to the hemp field. King is going to help water the hemp field, though. There we go. Now we're starting to help out the hemp field there. Alright, good. And then all this wheat straw, Cowley will eventually, if he's working properly, grind it down. Yeah, here he goes. With some bread to get more dust witches. I think the goal of being fully 100% able to feed ourselves is a lofty one, and not maybe all that realistic of one, just given the Shek's rate of hunger. But with that said, you know, it's something I hope to do. Alright, Poetic. Okay, that's fine. One of the issues that I have with Poetic, I don't know if you're here or not, but one of the problems that you're probably going to have is trying to level up your dexterity, given that you're martial arts. It's not going to really level all that well unless you use bladed weapons. So that might be something that we have to account for, forcing you to wear and use a katana for a bit until you have the dexterity you need in order to survive. So what Rockfin's doing right now is he's going to go around and make sure that everybody has a Cat 1 blade. Cat 1 is the quality that Trapper Keeper is making on the base model of the weaponsmith that we have. So Sharp Point needs one as well. And then once everybody has a Cat 1 blade, I will try to start armor smithing. I think at this point Chemo can make standard quality stuff. Yep. He can make standard quality stuff, so I'll start rolling out the plate jackets for standard quality stuff. One of the advantages of wearing armor, besides the fact that you won't die, is because you stay in the fight longer, you will build more toughness. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of people believe that, you know, getting hurt badly raises your toughness, and it does, but each hit that you take raises your toughness, so the more that your armor mitigates, the more toughness you will build, because if you're getting knocked out of a fight really early on because you just took one or two big blows, that's not going to raise your toughness very far. Whereas if you are very well armored and you take like 50 hits before going down, that's a lot better for your toughness overall. So trying to get, you know, any sort of armor that's better than our pants that don't have armor and our heart protectors, which are terrible and only cover about 50% of our body, is going to help us fight. Now, the caveat to this is gearing up in plate jackets and pants and the like. I'll probably not lose the wooden sandals for a bit, but gearing up in armor will cause encumbrance. A lot of the people here in the Rockfin squad don't really have the strength to wear proper armor without becoming encumbered, and movement speed is always very important. So we're going to have to sort of balance out those two, making sure that we are as geared up as we can be, but we're not also unbelievably slow and vulnerable as a result. Is it worth wearing better cloths? Depends what you mean by cloths. Yoda, look up, buddy. Treebor and Shield, thanks for gifting out a sub and resubbing as well. I appreciate it. I don't know why Cowley keeps running around. I think actually it's because I probably built on the road and he keeps running around the long way to get down here. Again, something I'm going to be really happy about once I move out of this area. And then Kang, you should come down here and start gathering the hemp, because both of the hemp farms are ready to be harvested. And once they're harvested, we'll turn that into fabric and be able to make armor out of it. I did just buy 4 more books. What can we do? Fine. I might just get hashish production just because. One of the things we don't have is batteries yet. So I'm going to get battery capacity researched. And batteries might not be a terrible investment here when we're living in the hub if we have a lack of power. So I will build 1 battery bank and just stick it... I'll stick it up here where the wind turbines are. And I'll have Kang build that. So that's 4 components, 2 plates. I'm going to have him grab all the plates instead. Apollo... Oh, man. Polyois. Or Poly... I still haven't figured out how to say your name, even though you've been a patron and obviously donating a lot of subs. Let me go ahead and put on the pink light there, so I can look more Shek-like. Thank you for the gifted subs. That is incredibly generous of you. And Treebor and Marauder as well. A way to start off a wonderful month. And Dom, thank you for the bits. It's so tempting to just call you Apollo. Razio, thanks for the sub as well. And Marauder, you guys are all too kind. An Obsidian Puncher? Yeah, this is quite the hype train. Hey Yoda, you happy about the hype train? So I'll try to get through all of this sort of like industrial stuff that I have to do. The Red Kitsune. Thanks for the gifted subs as well, and Turdinator. Oh my lord. So much. Whew. It's getting hot in here, isn't it? And Shona, too. And the ALS gamer? Oh boy, do you have ALS? I sure hope not, but, hope it's just a name. Here you go, Yoda. You get to celebrate, too. He gets free peanuts. Thank you, Cogs. So yeah, what I want to be doing is I want to be chasing down dust bandits and the like to try to build up the skill so that we can take on bigger, stronger, better enemies. So that is the plan, and I'm going to try to do this as fast as possible. Yeah, everybody gets a gifted sub. I know, my goodness. So there's the battery bank, and here's the way the battery bank works. As you can see, it builds up charge. It has a capacity of up to 60. You can... Oh, there we go. Hype, oh my lord. Kadath and Requiem hitting Hype Train 5. So cheers to you all. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh wow. Yeah, all the first time chatters here. This is... Well, thank you. The pink light here hides the blushing, I think is what that does. Yep. That is, that's quite the train. Thanks, MVP, for the bits. I enjoyed the photo of the Aurora Borealis you sent me. I know I was very monosyllabic in my reply because you caught me very early in the morning when I am in my monosyllabic hours. Rad Zug Zug in the morning is the TLDR. Yeah, it's a lot of love. It sure is. Let me change up the soundtrack. So this is the soundtrack that you typically hear in the Savannah. It doesn't make sense that I'd be hearing here in the hub, but I'm the DJ, so I get to decide. And we are building up our monies. We buy that for... Oh, God, you just ate the bread. I was trying to buy the bread so I could share it, but Kang was just like, nom nom. Alright, so taking a look here. One of the most important things I want to do is to make sure that everybody has the same katana's quality. And I do believe that we only have 2 left. We have Case and Headshot, the only 2 that need to get their katana levels to be appropriate. So Trapper Keeper already has 1 of those 2 katanas. So 1 more katana of a Cat 1 style, or quality, and we'll be good to go. Graying Otter, thanks for the bits as well. Holy moly. Oh, you don't have to be sorry about the early messages. My phone doesn't do notifications ever. So it's not like you woke me up. But I should not reply to anything that early in the morning, because it's always... I'm not good at speaking in the morning. I'm very much the type that, like, if you catch me before my morning coffee, I might as well have cretinism. I guess is the least PC way of saying it. Ooh, treats for the puppies. Hey, Glitch. Finally made it. You haven't missed much, I'm afraid. I wish we were deep into the action. All I'm trying to do right now is to engineer a few more swords so that everybody has the same quality Cat 1 blade, and Cat 1 blade is pretty reasonable, and the best that weapon bench is going to be able to manufacture. Just a little reminder, of course, the weaponsmithing here, the next tier of weaponsmithing that I can unlock, which would be here, advanced weaponsmithing, is locked behind an ancient science book, and then also the weapons would then require fabrics, and I'm not exactly ready to... I don't have the industry to really supply those fabrics. So that's the reason for the holdup. And yes, this is the glitch from the Wendigos. Multiple Wendigos. You're going to see a lot of familiar names here, because characters are named after patrons, after all. And there we go. The level 5 hype train emote. Thank you. That is unbelievably generous. Alright, so King is running some of the hemp so that we can start to loom it into fabrics. And then we have a fabric box here with only 7 fabrics, but hopefully those fabrics will boon. It's also something that I could be on the lookout to buy when I am near places that sell fabrics, because obviously we're going to need a whole lot of it. So let's see. How close are we, Trapper Keeper, to... Oh, where are you running? What are you doing? I have no idea where Trapper Keeper's going. I cannot wait until I get, like, my own proper base. I know you guys are eager for it, too. Because it's always so very, very confusing when I have my guys run like that to spots that don't make any sense for their work priorities. I guess Trapper Keeper's coming down here to eat. And that's obnoxious, because I'm fairly certain I have food in this bin. Yes, I have food in this bin, and they all ignore it. 'Cause reasons. Fine. If you're gonna ignore this bin, I might as well move all the food down. Ooh, I like this song. Place must be full. No, they're 11. And then the plate storage up here has 44. So, it's not full, he's just running for food. I think one way to prevent running for food is... Hold on, let me not even use the bin here. One of the other ways is to have them eat out of Rockfin's backpack, because Rockfin's always near that research bench, even though he doesn't have anything to do right now. And... checking in on Chemo Pipes. Chemo Pipes has armor smithing 44. He'll climb to specialist at armorsmith 60, which is kind of a long way off, so I'll probably end up smithing some armor before we hit that. And the turd is nowhere close, I am sure. Yeah, 19, still making the prototypes. Yeah, having multiple bins is very annoying, so in the future base design, what we'll do is we'll have a very central location that has everything, to avoid the whole back and forth nonsense of trying to feed ourselves. We will engineer better solutions once we have a base that we call our own. Just very hard to do when you're living out of a city you don't own. Do I have any trouble getting my workers from the snail house to the mining camp? No, not so much. I mean, Cowley is his run back and forth doesn't make any sense, but like, other than that, yeah, it's not much of a problem. I just gave King the permanent job of hauling to the auto loom. He's not going to keep that job for very long, I assure you. And then we're getting down on the animal skins. So soon we're going to... that's not what I meant to do. Soon we're going to be able to make something of it. So now King's full-time job is to just haul the fabrics to the fabric box. Callie's pathing is totally broken, yeah, and he's pacing back and forth like he's the waltzer from the Wendigos, if you guys recall that. I'm entirely unsure what he was doing. But these are all problems that are going to be obviously solved once we move out. So, Mr. King, I think what I'm going to have you do is to buy some more bulk food at the neighboring village. Trapper Keeper probably has... Yes, so we have all the blades that we require. Let's have you trade that to Rockfin. I could click on you. And now Rockfin is going to deliver that to Headshot in case those were the last two that needed it. Oh, speaking of needing it. Hi, hungry people. We're here to murder you. Wow, so this is Twitch? Yes, this is Twitch indeed. And Ilan Lacrosse, thank you for the resub. And Zardos for the bits. I missed those bits. And then, of course, a lot of follows, like Monkey's Swinkle and Viking Pastry. I like those names. Let's see. I'm going to put on more Dunes soundtrack. These hungry bandits don't really stand any chance at all. And let's go grab those blades from Case and Headshot. So now we're all Cat 1. All the blades that we're making here on out are strictly and purely for profit. We don't have need of any more Cat 1 blades. Everybody has a Cat 1 blade or something like it. Except for Poetic. Poetic, are you here? No, Poetic isn't here. So I think what I'm going to do is to make the decision to get Poetic leveling up his dexterity with a Cat 1 blade. Even though he wants to be a martial artist, because dexterity is very important to martial arts, and you don't build dexterity doing martial arts very effectively. You can build strength really effectively doing martial arts, but not anything else. Okay, the other thing I have to be careful of is I did send Kang off to Beak Thing territory, but it seems like he got here fine and unmolested entirely, which is good. If his profile started flashing, I would make sure he was all right. I could make him a Wakasashi. Yeah, let me do that. So he's a little bit different. So I've just changed the priority. We'll finish that katana later, and Trapper Keeper will pivot over to Wakasashi, and then Mr. Kang is gonna buy dried fish, all that I can afford, and run back home. The Hivers there are going to be really powerful trading partners, I think, because they live close to where we are now. They don't live, we'll see where I permanently settle, but for now, it's pretty good. Alright, Case and Headshot are done processing material. We ran out of stone, so they're going to be mining stone. Here is the puddle of bodies. Raptor, I'll catch you later in the YouTube comments. Sorry that you can't catch it live, but thank you for stopping in and dropping bits. And Emmy, thanks for the bits as well. I like the little dog logo here. Let me hook that up for you. Yoda's like, hey, wait, what? Someone rang? And Kadath, thanks for gifting out as well. That's like 26 of them this stream already. Alright, so once that Wakasashi's done, we're gonna go look for trouble. Even though we don't have the armor yet. I might leave Chemo behind to continue grinding his armor skill. It's not that fair to him, but we'll do that anyway. Just because we really do need the armor smith up. And then here's all the new fish that we can use to feed ourselves. Yoda's the best boy? Yeah, Yoda's great. Let's go back to some Savannah music. I have so many buttons over here to like play DJ. It's let's hope I don't drop that ball. So one of the things we could do is to, and once that Wakasashi's done, this is what I think I'm going to do. Okay, the Wakasashi just finished up. It is a Cat 1 walk. We're going to give that over to Poetic. And if you compare a Wakasashi to the Katana, as you can see, the Katana does more damage. It has a higher attack bonus. And yeah, that's about it. It's also worth considerably more. It's actually worth a lot more than you'd think, which is interesting. Your service is bad at work? Well, I look forward to seeing you in the YouTube comments as always, friend. How far behind is YouTube? 0. All of my series that I ever stream are never behind if you catch up on YouTube before the next stream airs. I'm very, very careful about that. Okay, so we have 26 fabrics or something like that. Nice. So now that everybody has their weapons, I'm going to live up to my promise, but I have a question for you. And I'll pull for it. Where should I practice combat? So the polls options here are going to be sort of directions for me to go in order to practice combat. And here are the 3 options I'm going to include. So let me explain these. If we head towards the South UC cities, Drifters, Last, and Clownsteady, that are sort of down here, we can fight swamp turtles and stuff like that, you know, ninjas and whatnot that we find down there. Or, alternatively, and try to recruit in those cities. That's sort of the intent, is to potentially wrap this into recruits. So Drifter's Last is here, and Clownsteady is here, I think. Well, or maybe here. We'll find it when we get close. And then, of course, there's the other Shek cities, which I could just go back over to make sure I didn't miss anyone. I don't think I did, but it wouldn't hurt. And we would be looking to clear out, like, Dust Bandits and the like, and then possibly also purchase backpacks for everybody. I'm probably going to be buying the backpacks and then making all the other gear. Oh, and a pet Yoda I missed? Okie dokie. Yeah, anyone can vote. Just 1, 2, 3. The other things I'm going to want to bring with me is the splint kit, in case we need to splint ourselves, and I'll bring some of the meds, and then I'll have Kang carry the sleeping bags. So let's turn off jobs for everybody and have everyone rally at my location. Does mean that some of these crops are going to rot in the fields, but that's how to get jobs done. So taking a look at these guys, people like Oron here, obviously we don't need to be carrying around, here, let's actually rally here. We don't need to be carrying around iron ore or anything like that. So I have to go through these all to make sure that no one's carrying anything that's silly or foolish or whatever. So McNauer has some ore that he shouldn't have. Reno Bino, thanks for the gifted subs. And I think that's about it. Everybody has more or less put their stuff away, which is good, because I don't need anyone needlessly encumbered. And then King is here to grab the sleeping bags. And I'm also going to grab some extra sandals in case I do, in fact, recruit people. And taking a look at the poll, it looks like you guys want me to head south towards the UC cities, the southern UC cities. So we'll get that underway. Now, I'm going to try something. I don't know if I'm going to keep it this way, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have everybody following in military formations. So to get there, you go to like squad, AI, and then you can have follow formations. And there's random, caravan, or military. And military, once everybody's together in a group, will actually look like a bit of a squad. Like, you know, is this every... Oh, we're missing Fang. Fang, why are you so slow? Holy heck, Fang, why are you so far away? Aren't I going to leave Chemo behind? No, I think I'm going to bring Chemo. Even though it's cost me some armor progress. Unless, Chemo, you want to stay behind? I guess that could be up to you. But Chemo isn't here, so that's moot. So, moving in formation, let's see. We're going to want to go south through the swamp. You love the game, hate the camera controls? Yeah, the camera controls can be a little fussy at times. Alright, this isn't much of a military formation, but I just wanted to demonstrate how you do it. And let me update the current goal here. Head to South UC cities for combat and recruits. I'll try my best to be a good cameraman. Alright, we're going to change the soundtrack here to the swamp soundtrack now that we're heading into swamps. Now, our little group here definitely is not strong enough to take on, like, a swamp gang. So I'm not going to be picking any fights with, like, swamp leaders. Tactical Blob, your favorite armor formation? Yeah, this is not Total War. You can get into proper formations, actually. Let's see, if we all follow Headshot, maybe we will. You get into proper formations like that, see? This is like a proper squadron formation, if I wanted to do it that way. Blobs work most of the time, but here we go. If you really wanted a ace formation, here it is. It's most effective to do when you have definitively one person that's slower than everybody else to follow them. Caravan is good for crossbows, yeah. To have the crossbow people in the back. I only have one crossbow woman. Okay, they're just talking to each other. So some of the combat we're probably going to do is with swamp turtles in order to be able to feed ourselves, because as you can see, I didn't bring a whole lot of food. I left a whole lot of food in the bins back home because I'm a genius and jumped the gun. But swamp turtles are very food rich, so we should be able to make a whole lot of food out of them. Oh, Jacobot and Headshot are the same speed. So if I really wanted them to stick together, Headshot can actually take off her wooden sandals, purposely slowing her down a little bit. Plus, Headshot doesn't benefit from the sandals like everybody else does because her combat speed effect, she uses a bow, so it's a totally different skill. And that way Jacobot can keep up. Now, the reason why I don't tend to use the military formations, I think you can see, the group here is sort of lagging behind, and that typically happens when you're in formation like this. I usually just follow the leader randomly, have them try to stay as close as possible, because the formation is only as fast as the slowest member, and it behaves strangely at times. So you'll remember when we were coming to try to do the swamp turtle hunt, this is roughly where we were. And we're definitely going to be heading further south than that this time. But I do want to stick around in the south wetlands so that we can hunt some turtles to keep everyone fed. Also keeping a close eye on blood spiders, because this is definitely blood spider territory, and they could very easily take us out if there was enough of them. So in terms of the weapon preferences here, the weapon choice is actually up to the owner of the characters, not to the situation that we're faced in, as Shield just explained. So if I quickly show you the roster here as we run through, you can see that the people that actually own characters in the purple and pink, or lavender or whatever color you want to call that, can choose their own weapon preferences. And that way, just to keep in mind, this series is not a min-max series. It is a role-playing series, so we're not making decisions from a min-max standpoint. I'm not going to be equipping the correct weapons or, grinding skill levels, the proper way, because I'm sticking to roleplay as well as and storytelling more than, sort of the min-maxing of playing Kenshi. The turtles won't be so elusive once we get into the south wetlands. The south wetlands will definitely have a lot of turtles. Yeah, and that kid, I like turtles kid, just popped in my head right now. Okay, come on. You don't need to stay paused. Yeah, Kenshi is unoptimized at times. There we go. What you get for using like a 13-year-old game engine, or however old Ogre is. Probably even older than that. Alright, cut back towards the swamp again. So here's some river raptors. If you click on them, you can see their attack strength, their attack and their strength, and their dex is up in the mid-20s. We could maybe kill them, but given that they don't really yield a whole lot of resources, and certainly not a whole lot of food, they're not worth killing, unless you can overpower them and not have to considerably rest after each attack. And we're not quite there yet. We could take one group out, and goats and bone dogs and swamp raptors, they're really good to, they're really good for combat experience, because they don't cannibalize, they don't imprison, they don't enslave, they tend not to hit very hard, so they're not likely to decapitate or amputate. But it all depends on your current strength level. Am I looking forward to Kenshi 2? Oh, of course. The 10-second autosave pause. Actually, this is a different kind of pause. I don't know. This pause is just the zone map loading pause. And I'm done waiting for that pause. What dexterity do you think is sufficient to stop training katanas? It depends on the primary weapons that people are ultimately going to choose. So if you're going to choose a blunt weapon, you're going to want more. If you're going to choose something that has a high sharp to blunt ratio, you don't really need to stay katanas anyway. Which is why some of the guys here have ninja blades or desert sabers. And I don't force them using katanas because it's not necessary. So I don't have a hard number. I would say like 50s. Somewhere in the 50s is probably pretty decent. Anything lower than 50, and there are enemies in Kenshi that are going to give you a real hard time. Hey, Swamp Turtle! I see you. A lone Swamp Turtle, that's weird. Swamp Turtles are not very difficult to kill, as you are about to find out. I do feel a little bit bad attacking them unprovoked, but an army's... Oh, hi! We have a band of bones here, too. So, we've been joined by some false Shek. So, Band of Bones are definitely going to mess us up more than Swamp Turtles, but, and their typical combat stance is like low 30s, but there's more of us, so I think the numbers are with us. And it looks like they're just simply getting overwhelmed by our numbers. So Swamp Turtle's down, and let's see. 14 raw meat. No leather. That's typical Swamp Turtle loot. I'm going to have Rockfin grab one of the meat so that the turtle's dead. And we're going to continue to fight the Band of Bones until they drop. So here's a Jackabot. You're next to it. Here's typical Band of Bones. One of the things that we're going to want to steal from them. So there's martial arts binding, which might be good for Poetic to have for now. I'll explain that a little bit later. But then there's, of course, also the meds that it can take. So I'm going to have Kang and Rockfin and the like loot their meds. Thank you for watching Kenshi Shek's Conquest, which originally streamed live on Twitch November 4th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, please let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. Thank you so very much to my Twitch subscribers, for which the characters in the series are named after, and my Patreon patrons. Without you all, my channel would simply not exist. I will catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Shek,